Hi everyone and welcome back to a brand new speed build. Today I have Copperdale High or Copperdale High School. I haven't completely decided what the final name of the video is gonna be, but you get the gist. It's a high school, it's in Copperdale, and this is probably the longest, it is the longest video I've ever posted on this channel by far. I don't know why I said probably. It is such a long video and I'm really sorry, but get something to drink, get something to eat, to snack on. Maybe you're having this on in the background, I don't know, or maybe you're sleeping to this like I do to a lot of speed builds, I don't know. But yeah, just, I don't know, strap in, it's a long video. I am very sorry. I tried to cut out as much as possible. I will get to what I cut out and everything like that, but I tried to cut out as much as possible, but it still ended up being, I think, exactly an hour is how long this ends up being, which is insane. Granted, the sped up footage, when I put all of this in and sped it up, and this is sped up a little bit more than my usual, so if it is a little faster than usual, that is why, but hopefully it's not too disorienting or too dizzying. I tried to make it so that it wouldn't be too dizzying, so hopefully it's not, but yeah, I sped it up more than usual, and when I did that, it was over 2 hours. I think it was 2 hours and 10 minutes or something like that. So I edited out, oh my god, I can't speak. Starting off great. I think I edited out well, with that logic, with those numbers, I guess, it would be an hour and 10 minutes is what I edited out. Well, an hour and 15 minutes, because it's an hour with the screenshots, so of the sped up footage, which is a lot. it's a lot. So yeah, I'm very, very sorry that this video is so long, but I really tried my best to edit out things. You will see that there's a lot of transitions in this video. There's a lot of kind of not jumps, because I did put a transition when it's when it's needed, but it's just a lot, honestly. It's a very big build. It is my first 64 by 64 lot on the channel. I think I have built on 64 by 64 before, I believe. Wait, isn't there a 64 by 64 in Burdensome Bay, or is that a 50 by 50? Because for my save file, I already have that done. I did that before I actually made my channel, but I don't remember if that's a 64 by 64 or 50 by 50. I think it is a 64 by 64. Those numbers are starting to lose meaning in my head now, but I have built on this size of lot before, just not on the channel, and that's why it's such a long video. And it's a school. I have never built a school before. I honestly, when high school years was kind of announced, and it was gonna be when we got all the information and stuff like that for it, and we were gonna be able to build schools now, well, one school, because we can only have a school on this one particular lot, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it's okay. I know a lot of people were really excited, and people were really, really excited when the pack came out. There were so many incredible builds, and I still see so many incredible builds or schools, but I was not excited. I was really, really intimidated. I was really, really scared, because I knew I had to do it for my save file, but I was just really, really scared, because I was I've never done anything like this. I think we all know that I don't do that many community lots. I've started to do a lot more, I feel and I'm gonna do more, because again, for my save file and stuff like that, but I just was really, really scared to do a school. But then, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, I went into my game and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try to, and then, well, if it ends up bad, then it ends up bad. And I think the kind of the inspiration for it came from Pinterest, because I was googling a lot of school buildings on Pinterest and stuff like that, trying to figure out, and I saw this floor plan, and I will pop it up here on the screen right now if I can find it, and I was inspired by it. It's very, 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 very simple, but I really liked the what in the floor plan, I think it's the auditorium, but what in this build ends up being the cafeteria. I really liked that there was this glass roof piece in the back, and I don't know, I just really liked it, and I knew I wanted this kind of tower in the front, which I feel is very school-ish, with a big clock on it and stuff like that. So I already knew that I wanted that, but the rest I just kind of winged, honestly. And yeah, it's just such a huge build, and yeah, I think it has everything that you need for a school, but yeah, and I will get to everything that is in it. Again, this is a long voiceover. I am not gonna stress through it. I feel like I've already started to talk fast. I need to like slow down. Like, you know, I don't need to talk that fast. I have an hour to talk. I have an hour. I think we're good. But yeah, although I absolutely love how this school turns out, I really hope you guys like it too. I can't wait to share it with you guys. Like, I'm so excited. I did post a picture on Pinterest like while I was building it, and people really seem to like it there, so I'm very excited to finally, you know, have it out. And I wasn't actually planning on releasing it like now. At first I was going to release it in like a couple of weeks because I knew it was going to be a very long edit, but I knew that I wanted it like out, especially after I posted on Twitter and people seem to really like it. I was like, okay, I want to share it now because people like it. You know, get the motivation, I guess. So I here we are. Here I'm posting it. And I thought you were gonna get it this weekend, which you are. I'm not sure. This is either going out Saturday or Friday, I think, or possibly Sunday. I don't know. In my last video, I thought that video was gonna go out like a day earlier, but then I'm sick right now, which is a surprise to no one. I'm sick all the time, but I'm sick and I've just been sleeping so much the past few days. So like literally, I think it was yesterday, I slept basically an entire day. So I'm losing time right now, so I don't really know what time it was. And it was the same thing on like last Sunday, because again I was planning on having the last video out that Sunday, but then it just like didn't go because I was sleeping all Sunday, so I didn't have time to finish it. But yeah, basically I'm really proud of this build. I really hope you guys like it too. If you want to download it from the gallery, my gallery ID is asimsa04, and when I get my tray files to work, they will be linked down below as well. But yes, so getting into this build and getting into everything that is in this build, obviously there are some requirements for having a high school, but then I also put a lot of other rooms, and I'm going to kind of go through my thought process of having a lot of these rooms and, you know, stuff like that. So for once, I think that I'm actually going to talk mostly about this build in the voiceover, because there's just so much to share, and then I'm always gonna ramble about stuff, but I just wanted to, I don't know, I want to explain some stuff. I feel like it might be good. When I do community lots, especially like a huge one like this, I feel like I need to explain some stuff. But basically, there is 4 classrooms with whiteboards, so like 4 classrooms that actually like work as classrooms. There are a cafeteria, of course. I'm sorry, I'm just like I'm fumbling over my words because I'm trying to like remember it all. In the basement, there's a swimming pool, there's a computer room or like gaming room, which again I will explain more later, and then there is, of course, like bathrooms. There are so many bathrooms. That are to put so many bathrooms. I think there are in total like 6 bathrooms, but then each bathroom has like 4 bathroom like toilet stalls, or like stalls, so there are like 32 toilets, I think it ends up being, because then there are some in the like teachers, what's it called, like not a teacher's room, faculty room, what's it called? I don't know. Like their room. There are a couple downstairs. I am so sorry if that cut weirdly. I said something that I probably should not say on this channel. Like, I swear, but I don't usually say the F word on my channel, especially not this early. So, anyways. There's also like not downstairs, in the basement there are changing rooms as well, so there are a few bathrooms there, and also downstairs in the basement there is a gym, and then on the 2nd floor there is a science classroom, which doesn't actually work as a classroom, but I wanted it there. It's like, you know, I will explain about it later. There is the principal office, the kind of faculty room, again I don't really know what to call it, the teachers room, the teachers lounge, the teachers lunchroom, I don't know what to call it, you know, that type of room. There's a guidance counselor's office, again there's a science room, there is a nurse room, or like a nurse office, nurse room, I don't know. There is a music room, a library, a chess room, an art room, and I think that might actually be it. I think so. And then there's so many hallways. So there's a lot. And then on the exterior there are, of course, the cheerleading mats, the a basketball court. I don't say the basketball court. There's a basketball court. There are some like other like chess tables, some just like entertainment, and in the front there's obviously like a car park and some school buses and like bicycles and all of that jazz. So basically there's a lot in this build. There's so much in this build. And again, so kind of going through like each of the rooms and kind of why some of the rooms exist, and also for the exterior, like just going through this build, I guess, which if you're new here, hi, welcome. I'm Mal. I tend to ramble a lot. I ramble about anything and everything, so this is going to be a little bit weird for me to actually talk about the video. Well, I mean, build, which I usually do as well, but like not to the extent I'm going to do today, because I feel like for this, you need some explanation, because for some of this, you're going to be like, but why? That's not necessary, like you don't need that, but like I wanted to do some of this. But yeah, and so on the exterior, like again in the front, I knew I wanted a car park, which again, like we don't have cars in The Sims. I know we don't, but in real life we do, so you know. And I just wanted a car park, okay, leave me be. And then I also put some school buses on the side and stuff like that. So yeah, the exterior is pretty like self-explanatory. I absolutely love the basketball court, which is a weird thing to say. I know it's a weird thing to like say that you love the basketball court in like a house, like that's a build. That is super weird, but I did this really cool thing which I thought of. I'm probably not the first person who does this, but I haven't seen anyone else do it, so I promise I'm not copying anyone. If I did, then I would tell you, but I haven't seen anyone else do it, but I'm definitely not the first one. If I am, then that's surprising. But basically we have this like, I think it's supposed to be like a chair from the high school years is what it's called. I just call it the high school pack from now on, honestly, from high school years. And it looks like, I think it's supposed to be like a bench, so you can kind of like, you can make it as long as you want and stuff like that. But I kind of stacked them to make them look like not like bleachers, but like sort of. You're gonna see when I do it. And then I put like a pizza box on it and like some drinks on it and stuff like that. So like it looks like people are there, like I don't know, either like during lunch, or I don't know if they have like an actual like basketball games there, but like I feel definitely during like lunch, because I don't know about you, but basketball is always like at every single school I've been in, and I've been to a lot of schools. More than you probably think. I've been to a lot of schools, and all of them have always had a basketball like hoop, at least a hoop, and then a lot of them have like an actual basketball court. I feel like that's just something that every school has, so I definitely wanted to include that. And then again, I wanted to include like the cheerleading mats, because I don't think we have them anywhere else like in the game, so I wanted them to be here, and you know, all of that. And yeah, I had a lot of fun. And when I was doing this school, I was very much so going off of my own school experiences and also what I've seen in like film and stuff like that, because I think high school years is definitely based on like American high school. I have never been to an American high school. I was gonna say that's false. That is incorrect. I have never like attended one as a student. I've never been in one for a long time, but I have been in one. Because if you didn't know, I a few years ago went to Texas because, long story short, my mom and my brother used to live there long before I was born. And when they lived there, I think it was when they lived there that my mom met a friend that like basically they like best friends. They call each other's soul sisters and stuff like that. And either it was, I actually think it was online before that. Like, you know how like us teenagers nowadays, we have like our online friends and stuff like that, like, you know, that was basically, my mom did that, but in the 90s. So that's why like she cannot say anything about me having online friends, because she did this, and then she literally like flew to another country and lived there because of people she met online, so she cannot say anything. Granted, my parents wouldn't either, because like they're the most chill parents ever, and I love them so much, but they're not chill and like they don't care about me. It's chill, I mean, they're chill and like I get to do what I want, but they also, you know, they're good parents basically. Anyways. So like she can't say anything about me having online friends because she did that, but in the 90s, in the freaking 90s, she's a legend. Anyways, I can't believe I just called my mom a legend. I'm sorry. Anyways, basically, we a few years ago went to Texas to visit like her best friend and her family, and she has sons that are, I think the youngest one is like 2 years younger than, or older, not younger, 2 years older than me, and then they are like a few years older than that, so like she has 3 sons, and at the time when we were there, 2 of them went to high school, and one of them was in a play like right when we were there, so we actually got to see the play, which like I actually went into an American high school, which is like I forgot about that until I was like making this build, and honestly until kind of now, because I keep forgetting that I did that, like I went to see that, because this was a few years ago. Like was I a teen even? I don't even remember. Like this was many years ago. Not many years ago, it was maybe like 5 years ago or something like that, but basically I've been to one. I also went with her. When I say her, I meant my mom's best friend. I went with her to like pick the youngest one like up from school and stuff like that sometimes, so because we were there for a little bit, so I have seen an American high school from the outside too, and like the kind of car park area and you know all of that, which was really, really interesting actually. But basically when we went inside to see this like theater thing, it was such an American thing. Like it was literally like the movies, and I don't know if this was just like a Texan thing or if it was just this school, but like it was the most American thing I have ever seen in my life. Honestly, it was just like the movies, because it was like it's gonna sound insane, but like there was like obviously like we were in the auditorium, so like I saw a very small part of the school, but obviously like, there were the auditorium, and then like outside of that there were literally like trophy cases. I have never been to a school that has actual trophy cases. In the school that I like, my last school, the one I just went to, I guess we technically did, but we didn't display like trophies. We displayed more like old photos or stuff like that, which I guess is the same thing, but not really. But it was like such an American thing, because like here we don't, I don't know if that might be like a Swedish thing though, that we don't have trophies, but I don't know. Basically it was very American for me. So in conclusion, I went off from my very, very minimal experience in American high school, but still noteworthy. Apparently it's noteworthy. I don't think it is, but anyways, well obviously I think it is, but you know what I mean. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. But basically that, as well as like my own school experience and like films and stuff like that, and yeah, so if you question anything, I don't know. I also don't think that, saying that, this build is not like hyper realistic. Like I don't think this like a school would have like this many plants or like maybe this many posters, but it's fun. Like it was a lot of fun to build, so you know, I'm just gonna go with it, honestly. Or this many trash cans. I put so many trash cans on the interior. Oh my god. You won't see all of it because, okay, getting to what I edited out, just like before we talk more about the other things, there's again just so much for me to talk about in this video. It's insane. But basically, again, I've already gone on one rant. Like, this is what I meant. If you're new here, this is what I do. I just go on rants. Anyways, basically what I edited out was, you will only see the downstairs part of the build. The left side and the right side are identical. When I say identical, I mean identical. Not exactly, because like some posters are different and you know stuff like that, but they're like the main things are identical, except for right when you enter the school, which we have, depending on how well the voiceover syncs up, we have now started on the interior. Like when you enter the school, on your left side is kind of like a front office, like where you, I don't know, apparently in other like countries you have to like sign in, or like you have to, like if you're late you have to get like a slip, like it says like why you're late and stuff like that. Like we don't do that in Sweden. We don't do that, so I'm sorry. Like I don't know, but in my old school we did have like a reception area thing, like when you entered school, and basically like if you ever like lost something, you would go there. If you, I don't know, like needed, if there was something like, I don't know, wrong or something, you went there, and then they could like kind of direct to like where you are or where you go to, and you know, stuff like that. And like, or if you needed a new lunch card, like you went there, and you know, all of that. So I wanted like a front desk area thing. Again, I don't think it's actually functional like in the game, but again, I wanted it. And so on the left side there's that, but on the, like at the same place where that is, on the right side there is the stairs to the basement. So otherwise they're completely like, the left and right side are completely identical except for that little thing. And so you will only see the actual like, what's it called, the left side of the build. So you will only see the 2 classrooms that are there, and the hallways that are there. Not all the hallways. I think you'll see 2 hallways that are there, and then you will see the canteen, the cafeteria. In my old school, we call it the like lunch place, like the canteen, which I don't know. I think that might be a British thing. I'm not 100% sure, but we call it the canteen. So if I do call it the canteen, that is what I mean. I mean the lunchroom, the cafeteria. In my old school, we called it the canteen. If you didn't know, by the way, yes, I live in Sweden. I've gone to Swedish school and stuff like that, except for the last 3 years I went to English school. Or I went to Swedish school, but an English program at a Swedish school. So we talked English, so like that's why we said canteen and not like the Swedish word for it. Anyways, yeah, so again, you will see that, and then you will see like one of the bathrooms, I think, because like all the bathrooms look exactly the same, all the hallways look exactly the same, and the classrooms look exactly the same. So you're not missing much. There are screenshots if you want to see it. There are screenshots, and there are also floor plan screenshots, because I know you're gonna get probably very confused of where I am in the build. But there are floor plan screenshots if you want to see it more like in detail. But yeah, so on the downstairs you will only see the left side, but again on the right side it's the exact same. There are 2 classrooms, there are 2 bathrooms, there are hallways, and then there are stairs upstairs, because I wanted there, like in this build, I wanted there to be a lot of stairs. So like if you want to go upstairs, you can do it very easily. There are stairs right when you enter the school, like in the front, like when you enter the front door, there are stairs upstairs, and then on the sides there are also stairs. I've said stairs so many times, it's starting to lose meaning in my head, I swear. But I did this not only for like playability, like I feel like that's very, like it's just easier if you want to go upstairs, instead you have to instead of running like halfway across the school. But also my old school, we had it like that. We had like this big staircase like right when you enter the school, but then we had like side staircases as well, because again it's just easier, especially if you have like hundreds and hundreds of students. It's just so much easier. And then also something I decided to do, which you probably have already caught on to, is that the classrooms with the whiteboards, which is like the actual like functional classrooms, are all on the first floor. And this is something I remembered from Jessica Pye. If you don't know who Jessica Pye is, where have you been? She is like the most amazing builder ever. I swear I aspire to be her someday. But I basically just go and check her out, honestly. But basically I remember when High School Years came out, I watched her high school that she built, and in that I vaguely remember that she said that she put all the classrooms on the first floor because it's just a lot easier for gameplay. Like if you have, because I haven't actually played with the expansion pack yet. If you didn't know, I mostly just like build. I have playtested this, don't worry, but other than playtesting, I don't really play the game that much. But for playability, it's just easier to have all the classrooms on like one floor, so your Sims don't have to like run up and down and be late for class and like all of that. So all the actual functional classrooms are on the first floor, except as well as the canteen or cafeteria. Sorry again. But yeah, so that's why I did that. But yeah, so the downstairs is pretty much like that. And then for what else I edited out on the second floor, I edited out all the hallways, I think. Like there are so many hallways, there are so many lockers, there's so many hallways, there's a lot of space. And then I think I also edited out the guidance counselor's office, which is something else I want to talk about, because I knew, sorry if you heard like a squeak, I was moving my mic or my boom arm, but when I've seen like other people make high schools, I've seen like a lot of them obviously have these like kind of club rooms, like the chess room and the art room and the music room and stuff like that. And I think that's pretty common in American high schools to have those types of rooms. Here in Sweden, no, not at all. We don't really have after like school activities like that, like at all, or like school clubs. It's not really a thing here. I'm sorry, it's just not really a thing. But I knew that like, but I haven't really seen. I'm not actually sure because I haven't watched that many, but I haven't seen a lot of people at least do like guidance counselor's office or like a nurse office, which is totally understandable because they're not actually functional. Like we don't actually use them in game. Like they're not really a thing here. However, I wanted them because of like the realism. Granted that the nurse's floor, what the hell? Sorry, I swear. But the nurse's office is on the second floor, which is probably not the best IRL, because like what if you're like injured your foot playing, I don't know, I was gonna say baseball. I don't know where I got that from. I meant to say basketball. But like what if you're injured your foot like playing basketball? Are you gonna walk up the stairs? Because there's technically like no elevator either. If this was IRL though, there would be an elevator, and there would also be like ramps if you're like handicapped, or like if you're in a wheelchair or something like that. Like there would need to be ramps and stuff like that, and I was considering trying to make that, but then I was like, in The Sims, like sadly we don't really have that type of like realism, which I get. It's just a little sad, but you know, like I get it. But yeah, so like it's not really like, you don't need an elevator and you don't need a ramp and stuff like that, and it would just be a little bit too much of a hassle for me to do, so I didn't do that, and I'm very, very sorry for that. But yeah, basically I like if yeah so basically like the sorry, I'm losing my train of thought so much. I don't even know what I've talked about so far in this video. It's not the best, but it's fine. But yeah, basically sorry, I had to take a pause and like drink some water and like calm down a little bit. But basically, if you have the nurse's office on the second floor, not probably the most practical IRL, but it's okay. It's fine. And then I wanted the guidance counselor's office as well, because like I feel like that's like pretty common. I remember that I've sat in several guidance counselors' offices, I guess. It's probably offices. It's a weird word. Anyways, I've sat in several, and I kind of wanted that, so I did edit out, sadly, because it just basically looks like another office. However, I did put some of the like university things from the university pack, so like for Brightchester and Foxbury Institute. So like if like maybe your Sims are like, which university should I go to? And I also put some like career posters and also some like military posters from StrangerVille, so like maybe they want to enlist or stuff like that. So I wanted that, so there is one, but I sadly decided to edit out. There are screenshots of it again, and then I think that is all that I edited out from the upstairs. And then the downstairs, the basement, I edited out again the hallway that is down there, and then also there's a gym and some locker rooms, and I decided to edit out all of those as well because of time. I'm really sorry. I tried to keep in as much as possible, but I just couldn't, and I'm very, very sorry for that. But yeah, again, there are screenshots of almost anything, everything, and there are floor plan screenshots as well in the end of the video. So yeah, but yeah, that's it. That is it. I think I've spoken a lot already. I have half an hour left. Oh my god, how am I gonna speak for half an hour more? There's probably more I need to talk about for this build. I don't know what though. I don't know what. I don't know what. Actually, I have something to say about the bathrooms. I had a lot of fun making the bathrooms, but then also we have stalls actually like we have stalls that are both from the university pack and high school years, and at first I was like, I should use the one from like high school years because again, this is, you know, high school, but they didn't have the like clutter graffiti thing. Clutter, I don't know. I was thinking of the Swedish word for graffiti. What's it called? Like doodles? Like what's it called if someone like scribbles something? I don't know what it's called. You get what I mean. In the bathroom stalls. Like the stalls from not from the university. Oh my god, I can't speak. From the high school years pack do not have that, but the lowest stalls, the lower stalls, if that makes sense, of the ones that we have from university have that. Not the higher one, but only the lower ones, and I don't understand why, but anyways, so I decided to put them, and I just had a lot of fun with it. I just wanted this build to be like, obviously it's a school, and sorry, I said school very weirdly, my throat did a weird noise, and the building itself is kind of like older and like kind of fancy and, you know, stuff like that, but I wanted the interior to really like feel like a school, so I did put a lot of posters everywhere, like you've seen, and again, I wanted like that, and like I think for the like tables, like for the the desks, that's what they're called, in the classrooms. I used, like, some of them have the swatches that have like a little bit of, like, again, like doodles and like, I don't know, not graffiti, but what's it called, like a little bit of like drawings and stuff like that. Like, I wanted that realism, because again, if I go back to like my experiences in my old school, like, it was this very, like, big fancy building, because it used to be like an old military building. Sorry if you heard me hit my mic. I hit it twice. I don't know how I realized. Oh my god, I don't know how I did that. I'm very sorry. I can't speak. It's also late at night. Like, I should not be recording this right now, but here I am. But basically, what was I trying to say again? Oh yeah, my old school. It used to be like an old military building, so obviously it like looked very, very fancy. It had this, like, it looked like a private school. It wasn't, but it looked like one. And it had this, like, at the front, it had kind of like this build has, like, with the tower sort of in front, and like this big, like, clock. Like, my school had like very similar things, and I did pull some inspiration from that school. So, by the way, if you recognize it, please don't, like, dox me. Don't dox me, please. I probably should not be talking about this, but it's fine. Anyways, I think there's probably a lot of schools that look like it, so it's fine. But then the interior, obviously, for my old school, it had been a school for, like, I don't know, like, at least, like, 30 years. So, like, it wasn't, like, the freshest, probably, because it was still, like, an old school, but it was, like, it still had, like, posters and like, cork boards and, you know, like, stuff like that about, like, the student council, or, like, I don't know, like, I was gonna say parties, but not really, but, you know, like, stuff like that. So I still wanted that, and again, there are, like, drawings everywhere, because that's just a thing that happens in schools, obviously. And yeah, and then the classrooms, I tried to make them very, very fun, and not for all the classrooms, but for a lot of the classrooms, I mean, there's only 4, and then there's the science classroom upstairs, but for a lot of the classrooms, I think, well, I guess for all of them, I kind of was thinking of, like, a personality, sort of, maybe, for the teacher. So the first classroom that you see me do, I was thinking that, I think that it's just, like, they're, like, a regular classroom. At that point, I wasn't really thinking about it, because it was the first one I did, and then the second one, I was thinking that that's, like, you know, like, the fun teacher, that is, like, you know, just, like, wants happiness, and, like, I was thinking that they're probably pretty young. And then the other 2 classrooms that you won't see me do, but one I was thinking is, like, probably, like, the econ classroom, if that makes sense, because I think at least, like, again, my old school, like, my old teacher, my econ teacher, and, well, she was our, like, econ and, like, social studies teacher, and, you know, like, all of that, and I didn't take econ. I took, like, it was part of the curriculum of my social studies that I did, like, my first year, but I chose all science. I did not do any, like, social study wise or, like, economics and stuff like that. Not my thing. I was doing science all the way. But I, like, her classroom, which was also, like, our kind of, like, homeroom, I guess, like, that's where, like, every week we had, like, a meeting with, like, my teachers, like, with the 2 teachers in charge of my class, and, you know, stuff like that, because I had, like, also, I think this might be weird for some people, but in Sweden, we have, no matter, like, what year you're in, in school, so all the way up from, like, primary school, or, like, I feel like I'm gonna mix up the British terminology and the American terminology, because I have a lot of British friends, but also a lot of American friends and stuff like that, so I'm gonna definitely mix it up, but, basically, like, all the way from, like, kindergarten or whatever up till, like, when you graduate high school, or even, like, college, I guess, because, like, our high school, like, what you would consider high school in, like, that age, I guess is more like college in the UK for us, because, like, you have kind of, I've talked about this before, but basically you have, like, a speciality thing, like, it shows up, like, you pick a program that you go to, so it can be, like, a science program, or, like, the social science program, or it can be, like, the hairdresser program, the electrician program, and there are, like, some that prepare you for, like, university, and there's some that prepares you for, like, work life afterwards and stuff like that. So there's a few different ones. There's one that's, like, just total for, like, economics or business, and there's, like, different ones. I did something called IB, the IB diploma program, which is an international program, so again, English. Some of you might have heard of it. I did that. I didn't fail out of it, but because I had a lot of other things going on and a lot of other things happened in my life, I was not able to complete it. I am thinking of probably doing it because I did really like it, but I'm not sure yet. But anyways, otherwise I would have gone science-wise. So if I say, and in those, sorry, I feel like I just started a sentence and then like, it probably sounded like a cut because I started another sentence within my sentence. Anyways, basically, if I mention like my class, it's because within those program we have like one class, like one group of people between like 20 to 30 students, and those people you have all your classes with, like all of them, except for like your language of choice, like a third language. So like I had French with everyone from my school, not just like my class, those 30 people that I was with, all like otherwise, and possibly some other classes. But like you have math, all of them, like all of you have math together, you all have science together, you all have, I don't know, Swedish together, you all have English together, like you all have those classes together. So if I say my class, that is what I mean. But basically in that classroom that we, as my class would gather like once a week and like have just a check-in with like we call them our mentors. I don't know what you would call them, the teacher in charge of us, basically, of like us, again, like 30 students. Like her classroom, again, she was like the econ teacher. She had a lot of like economics posters and like, you know, posters about like stuff like that. So in like under the other classrooms that you don't see me do, I put a lot of like econ things. And then the fourth one, I almost said the third one. The fourth one, I wasn't really thinking much, but I was thinking that teacher was really liked plants. That was it. Like, they definitely don't teach about plants, but I was thinking that they like plants. So I put plants. And yeah, that's about it. And then again, there's a science classroom, and in that classroom I decided to put counters instead of actual like desks, because in every single science room that I have ever been in, like a lab room I've ever been in, it's counters. And I guess that is because of like chemicals and stuff like that, but I've never been in like an actual science room where you have the like actual like chemicals and stuff like that, where you have like regular desks. Maybe there are desks that are like higher than normal, but they're always like higher. So I put like the actual like counters that I think came from Get to Work. But yeah, and then I think that's about it. Again, I don't know how I'm supposed to talk for, I talked another 10 minutes. Wow. I don't know how I'm supposed to talk for another 20 minutes. I don't know. Obviously I did. If you're watching this, I was able to do it, but I don't know how, because I think this length is like the longest video prior to this video. So I've never had to talk beyond this, and now here I am. Also, for the record, like if anyone is like, why didn't you split the video into two or anything like that, I definitely could have. I just didn't want to, and I've spoken about it before, but I really, like, personally, I love longer videos. Again, like I mentioned before, I mentioned Jessica Pye before, a lot of her videos are like longer, and I love them. I tend to gravitate towards longer videos, no matter if it's speed builds or like a video essay, or if it's music, like commentary, like no matter what, if it's a longer video, I will most likely like watch that one more than another one, which doesn't make sense because I feel like a lot of people want to cram in as much content as possible as in like as short of amount of time as possible. So people prefer videos that are probably around like 10 to 20 minutes, more like maybe 10 to 15 minutes, but I don't. And so and then I think I mentioned in my last video that I was editing this, and I was like, if it's gonna go over an hour, I'm probably gonna split it into two, but then it didn't go over an hour. And I mean, yes, if I split it into two, I could probably have kept in the other classrooms and like the guidance counselor's office and, you know, all of that, but I just didn't really want to, and I prefer to just have like one video. And then again, this is like, I'm saying this like 38 or so minutes in, so probably a lot of you are not watching this in one go. If you are, applause to you. I appreciate you so much, but are you okay? Do you need help? Like, are you sure you're okay? Sorry, but like, I feel like most people might like watch it in several goes, or again have it on the background while maybe they're playing Sims or like editing, or I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. Or maybe, again, you're like me, who watches videos as they try to fall asleep. Like speed builds. Like, that's what I do. And I know that's weird, but it's what I do. I don't know what you're doing, but I hope you're having fun. Yeah, that's about it. Honestly. But yeah, I don't really know what else to talk about, honestly. I hope you guys are doing good. I don't know. I don't know what to talk about. Actually, I can talk about more about the build. I could, because again, I think I mentioned before that like in Sweden, we don't really have like club rooms. Like we don't really have clubs. We don't really have like after school activities like that. And when I entered into the IB program, having to do like CAS, which if you're not familiar with the IB program is creativity, activity, and service. So like outside of school hours, you have to do, and then before I think it used to be like hours, but now I think they've changed it so you don't have to have hours, but it's around 100 hours in each. So you have to have around like, I'm gonna say around 100 hours, I'm not really sure, but you have to do something creative, something active, like workout or something like that, and then something in service. And you have to do, it's very complicated and has a lot of different things because you have to match a few criteria and, you know, all of that. But basically you have to do at least 3 within that category. So like you have to do 3 things within activity, 3 things within service, 3 things within creativity. There we go. Or did I say activity? Creativity, whichever one I didn't say before. So you have to do 3 within them. And for me, and I feel like, again, in the US, like, that's pretty normal. Like, you do, like, you have, I don't know, maybe you're on the basketball team and, like, so you have something active. Or, like, maybe you're in the chess team, I don't know, or in, like, the art club or, you know, something like that. So, like, you have something. In Sweden, we don't have that stuff. Like, not really. Not really, like, not at all, actually. I mean, I guess maybe some schools do, but I've been to a lot of schools. I've been to, like, 6 or 7 schools. None of them had it, so I don't know about that. But yeah, so I don't know, like, if you have, like, if you dance and stuff like that, like, you don't do it with an like affiliated to, like, to the school, or if you play like basketball or football or I don't know, like American football. If I say football, by the way, I mean soccer. Football is football. Football is not soccer. Football is football. American football is American football. There's a difference. But, like, if you do stuff like that, like, you do it on your own, like, free time without, like, outside of school with another club. Like, that's a whole different thing. So, for me, this was very weird when I entered IB, because I was like, I have to do this? Like, I have to do this to even get my diploma? Like, you have to do this, but if you don't get your diploma. And I was like, what? And so that was, like, really something new for me. And I was really, really confused at first, but then, like, I got into it. But it was a lot, honestly. It was more than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, I mean, I managed to do it in the end, but, well, I mean, again, I didn't actually finish, but I was doing it until I had to leave. Until I had to leave. Yeah, so again, like, that was just really weird for me. So when I was doing this school, I was like, I knew I want that, because again, I knew in American schools that is, like, pretty common, I guess, to have that, but in here, not at all. It's not common at all to have, like, a music, well, I guess, because we have music class. Like, between the ages of, I don't know actually what ages it is, but, like, for me, it was, I guess it also depends, but between, I guess 3rd and 9th grade, so for 6 years, basically from when you're, what, like, 9, I think, to when you're, how old are you, like, 15, 16, I guess, yeah, so, like, 9 to 16, that doesn't make sense, does it, 15, you know, somewhere around that. When you're around that age, you, like, between those ages, you have to have music in school. You have to. You take music class. There's nothing, like, that's what it is. I know that some schools have it, so, like, it's like it's not as long as a normal lesson, I think, and then, like, some schools probably, like, divide it up, so, like, one part of the class has, like, that day, and, you know, all of that, but basically you have music. That's what I'm trying to say. But like in our music class, like, we don't have it the same way as, like, from what I've gathered at least, that, like, music in, like, again, like, the US is, because here we I don't know, like obviously we sing and stuff like that, but then we also learn about music history, and then we also learn to play a little bit of like guitar, a little bit of piano, a little bit of drums and stuff like that to probably like spark like a joy for us, because I know like when we did drums in like 3rd grade, so many people loved it. So many people loved like drums and stuff like that. So I had like 2 or 3 friends that actually started playing drums like outside of school again, and it was just really really fun. But like we don't have like school bands, like that's not a thing here. We don't have a school choir, like that's not a thing. So yeah, like I don't really like, we don't have the type of rooms, I guess, that you would have in the US again. Again, I'm mostly going off of what I've heard and movies and stuff like that, so I'm very sorry if I'm wrong, but you know. Also, I'm very sorry if you can hear that my voice is like slowly dying. Again, I am sick, and again, I have to talk for an hour, and like normally that is fine. Like I've been talking with my friends literally all day for like 6 hours straight. I've been on a call with my friends. But that's different, because you don't talk like with yourself for an hour consistently. Like you talk with other people, and like there's a conversation. So, like you're not the only person talking, and then like you're not actually like talking for an hour straight, but like you know what I mean. So it's different when you do a voiceover, because again, you by yourself, which is a lot to do. Like, it's a lot, and I'm gonna have to edit this too. You know how I said that I thought that this might go out Friday? It's probably going out Saturday, because I don't know if I have the energy to edit it tonight, and it's Thursday night right now. Well, technically, it's 1:30 a.m. on Friday, but for me, it's, like, I still feel like it's Thursday. So either I'm gonna edit this voiceover, or I'm gonna go to sleep, or I'm gonna watch anime, or I'm gonna play Sims. I'm probably not gonna sleep, so it's probably gonna be one of the others. Probably, honestly, watch anime and then play a Sims, probably. But yeah, so again, basically going back to what I was talking about before. Sorry, I had to take a pause and again, like, drink some water and stuff like that. But again, so like all the kind of like club rooms, or like, you know, those types of rooms, I had to kind of make up on the spot, honestly. The only rooms that I, you know, have been in myself and actually like we have here in Sweden are obviously the classrooms, the cafeteria, I guess, but I guess it depends on like school to school, because my obviously did not look like that. But also, this is gonna sound weird to some people, but like the lunch in Sweden is completely free in schools. You don't have to pay anything, and we get everything here. And even if you have like an allergy, like I do, like I have a very severe food allergy, I just tell them and I get my own food. And if you're vegetarian, you get vegetarian food, and there's always like a few options. So like if you want vegetarian food or the regular food or whatever, and there are like a few drink options, and they're like you can get bread and stuff like that as well. Again, it's all free. When I talked about before like a lunch card, it's just because like you might eat, like we ate, not like my school itself didn't have a cafeteria, so like we ate at another place, but we just like swiped a card that the school paid for, and then like we paid quote unquote for it, but like we didn't pay, the school did. But a lot of other schools like have their own like lunch place, cafeteria thing, canteen, if you will. So that took place. But like in Sweden, we don't pay at all. So so our type of cafeteria looks different, because we just like go in and then we take our like, it's weird, and I don't know how to explain it, but look it up if you want to. But basically our cafeteria doesn't look like the cafeteria here, obviously, and also I don't know how many cafeterias have like a glass roof, but that's beside the point. Anyways, and then again, like classrooms, the cafeteria, like I said before, like the front office, we had that. Obviously, again, like hallways and stuff like that, and bathrooms, obviously. And then again, like principal office, of course, and like the faculty room, the teacher's lounge, whatever it's called. I was debating putting like offices, I don't know, for the teachers, because again, in Sweden, like the teachers don't per se like have their own classroom. Again, I think I mentioned before, like my economics teacher, she kind of did. It wasn't hers necessarily, like, but she was basically the only teacher in it, and my English teacher had the same thing. But normally your teachers don't have like their own classroom. Some schools might, but any of my schools that I've been to don't. It's more so like the students have like, I mean, up until you enter high school / college, if you're in the UK, up until you enter that age, you will usually at least have, I don't know, actually, when you go to Högstadiet, which is like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's the last 3 years of like normal quote unquote school before you go into like the programs, like I mentioned before. This video is just a lot about my school system now. But before you enter that part, you, like, again, in those like 3 years, you might have different as well. But anyways, you usually at least have that like your class, again, those 30 people that you have like, you stay in the same room and then the teachers come to you. But I think in the US at least, it's more normal that like the teachers have their classroom, that's like their workspace, like that's their office. Whereas in Sweden, again, it's more normal that like then the teachers have their own office, or like they have a big office room or something like that. So I was debating putting that in, but then I was like, no, I feel like this would be more like an American high school, so I didn't, and instead they have like the teacher's room, lunchroom, whatever. So yeah, that's why I didn't really put any offices for that. And then but I've been inside of like the lunchroom, which I think might be weird because I feel like they're always very secretive about them, but I have, because honestly, one, I was always like very much like kind of close with the teachers. Not really, not like I would be buddies with them, but you know what I mean, like I was just closer with the teachers than I was the students, because I was just always that person. I was that annoying. I know. That wasn't actually annoying, but you know, also I had a lot of like health issues and stuff like that going through the entirety of my school journey. Also a reason why I have to quit school right now. So that's also like a reason why like I've been in like the teachers lounge or whatever, because like I've had to speak to teachers about things I missed, or you know, stuff like that. So I've been there, and then again, like the science room, probably, again the library, obviously. I think every school, like literally every school has a library. I think probably at least every school that I've been to, except for one that didn't have like their own library, but they had a library, like an actual library, like a public library right next to it that we just like used as a library. And then, I mean, technically it was a library, so we used it for what it was, but you know, and then I don't know what else, honestly, because like we didn't, in my school, like I've never been in a school with an actual swimming pool. I know that one close to me does have it, so I know it exists here, but I just never had it. And I've definitely never been in one with like a gaming room. The gaming room is something I haven't spoken about yet. I will speak about that in a second, but like probably like a gym. I've always also been in that. I also, if you're wondering why I didn't put an auditorium, it's because like we have an auditorium as a separate lot in this. I should have mentioned that before, but anyways, talking about the game room, I am very excited about this because this might be weird for some people to have like a game room or like a computer room, but basically in this, one of my best friends kind of I don't know, inspired this, like unknowingly. He doesn't know about this and he doesn't watch my videos, so we're good. But he goes to college in the UK, but for like esports, which is weird, but he does. So I was thinking that some students, I don't know if they like, obviously again they don't really do that in the US, but like there's probably like an esports club or whatever. So I was thinking that this is like where they hang out, or if they have like a programming class, like that's where that's held, and you know, stuff like that. But yeah, I was just thinking about him honestly, because I obviously hear a lot about it, because again, he's like one of my best friends. I have like 2 best friends and he's like one of them, so obviously and he again goes to like esports college, sort of. He literally, I'm not even kidding, goes to school to play like Valorant. That's what he does. It's hilarious. And he's getting a actual, I guess, degree from it, quote unquote. I don't know. I don't really understand it, but yeah, he kind of unknowingly so inspired it. So yeah, I just, when I heard, because I've been hearing about it for a while now, and then like I was just like, oh, that actually works for this build. I will put it in. Sorry, Jay, if you're watching this. You're not. I don't think you've ever watched a video of mine. If anyone is watching this that knows him, I mean, you could mention it to him. I don't really think he cares. I don't really think he cares at all. But yeah, so I was thinking a little bit about that, but it was a lot of fun. But again, I don't really know how many schools have like a swimming pool, but again, from what I kind of gather, the like in the US it's kind of common, and I was debating putting like a more of like a gym downstairs and like, or in the basement, or like having again like more of like a gym place, like where you would have like your PE and stuff like that. But I just honestly, one, I didn't have the time, well, at the time I just didn't want to, and then also we have like behind the school there's a huge field, and I feel like you probably have PE like somewhere else and not in here, but you have the swimming pool here, and you have a basketball court outside, so it should be fine. But oh my god, we're almost at the end. My throat hurts so bad. I don't know how you've put up with me this long. I am very sorry. Honestly, the voiceover is probably gonna end before the actual screenshots, because I'm probably gonna have to edit out a lot of me rambling and a lot of me making weird noises like I just did. Don't mind that. Also, if you're here, wow, props to you. If you've made it this far, comment down below with a music note emoji. Leave that. That will be great, because then I know you've watched all the way through, and I really appreciate you. Anyways, that's basically it for this video, and I really hope you liked it. I'm very sorry for the rambles. And yeah, don't forget to like, share, comment, and of course subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye. God, I don't even remember my own outro anymore.